100% crit, don't get me wrong there, but that is not changing much out of the outcome of the fights, and I feel strong. We don't need gold. I rather hit like some upgrades here. An Aiden upgrade would be probably the best, so we can upgrade it further. Here comes now the interesting part where we have two really good targets. We don't have a chrono barrier and we don't have that, but we do have the mids, and we still want extra haste, especially from the mids. I know we can achieve the same by Curio, but it's not guaranteed to see Curio, and even if we see Curio, it's not guaranteed to get the plus extra haste on an item. So it is rather reasonable to fix our haste issue by upgrading this. 2 seconds generally mean we have rather soonish a full haste uptime. The alternative is obviously to say the Omega Ray is our main damage scaling and we want to scale faster and kill our opponent. I'm inclined to do it on the mids. I don't want a large item. I will not fit a solar farm here. Also, a solar farm is a lot weaker over mids, so easy decision. Random gold is not really something I'm in need of, so I rather take the temp boost. I do not think at this stage the 50 flat heal is good enough, even though we have kinda haste on it, which makes it a little stronger. I rather have the upfront extra health, just in case my opponent is very flashy and has supercharge and is like dealing in the first few seconds all or most of their damage. In specifically that case, I think it is valuable to upfront the health and take the health increase here. In the early days, if you pick the temporary boost, where it is sometimes reasonable just to make sure you win the fight and stuff, it is a lot more powerful because 50 health is flat, and a lot if you just would increase your health by, let's say, 100 or something, then 50 heal is probably better. Anyway, I think perfect build, let's go. 5th day, congrats. Would you have never assumed you are so new? Glad to see you're doing good and already have some viewers. Yeah, thank you. Kinda enjoy it. I like streaming actually at the moment. I try still to get used to talking in front of a computer to myself. It's like, obviously, I would say unusual to do. Like if I would play alone without a stream, I'm not talking to myself. Like I would say most people do. No judging there. It's just, you know, normally I would assume people do not talk to themselves when they sit in front of their computer. So that is the one thing. Getting more used and practiced in speaking English is also amazing. I earlier this morning, I don't know, let's say not dreamed, but thought a little about streaming, and like I want to in the long run at least be a streamer that is, I don't know, like so I watched a lot of streamers. I was always like a quiet watcher, so you will not know me, and also I had a different nickname on Twitch from all the Hearthstone streams, but I can tell you I played around 20,000 games, or like I have 20,000 wins on Hearthstone, and most of those wins while I played, I watched at least one streamer at the time. And so I have seen a lot of streams before I started to stream. And there's one streamer who some people might know who is called Meaty HS. He's not streaming, unfortunately, anymore, but he was one of the viewers and the streamers I enjoyed watching the most. And the reason was he was like a little bit unique, a little quirky, but also because he talked a little more personal stuff. So even though he streamed and had good content, and it was mostly about the game, he sometimes talked about political stuff, philosophy, and personal stuff, how he viewed the world. And that made it like kind of interesting because he had reasonable explanations for why he sees different things, but it was also different to sometimes my personal view. And it was like I could extending my view and get rather deeply understanding on how this person is acting. And it was something I could relate to and which I enjoyed. So I was considering doing this myself. And maybe I will do this in the future on stream and hope people don't run away because they only wanted to see my content on the Bazaar. Anyway, a few things. First of all, Trinet, thank you for the rate, I will hit now by far the most viewers I have ever hit. It's my 5th day or 6th day of streaming, like really streaming. So I'm really new to it. And my last stream already had like the highest number of viewers with like 100 viewers, I think, or like around 100 viewers as a peak. So this is triple the amount. That's amazing. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for checking me out, and thank you so much for the rate. Greatly appreciated. I will start to read chat a little further before we go on. Thank you, Domations, FF Stars, and Walt, Ernst, and West for the follow, first of all. Thank you all for the follow. If you have any form of criticism or improvement or feedback, feel free. I try to learn and get into streaming in the first place. Yeah, Meaty became a doctor, but he was also like a full-time doctor before, like while he streamed. He just like got tired of the game Hearthstone and has nothing to stream and kind of stopped streaming, unfortunately. And I'm from Germany, in a western city. I'm living and enjoying my life. Reminds me of what I liked to watch Life Coach for. Yeah, Life Coach was also a rather interesting streamer to follow, and I have watched a lot of Life Coach. I have watched most of the big Hearthstone streamers at some point, and some longer and sometimes others not as long, but yeah. Wow, that's a lot of viewers for your 6th day. Yeah, it is amazing. Thank you all for being here. Anyway, let's finish this run. We don't need tools at the moment. We have the best tool from Dooley. The other best tool that we would like to see is a rivet gun. That is though from not from our hero, so we cannot get it in the store. We don't need really any scaling due to water cooler because we don't have him, nor do we need the gold. We can so skip those options, just take the free gold. I don't think it's likely to see here an upgrade for the gun, though whatever. Aerodrome is a really good node, just because you can hit literally everything, which means as soon as this shows up, which is kind of day 4-ish, 5, you can like reroll, and your third reroll might be a freeze enchant, which is like kind of OP. And I had like in the last week at least 2 freeze enchant coming out of Aerodrome, so I'm really inclined to pick it. Also, I am rich enough to justify rolling here for skills or haste skills or whatever. So as soon as a good skill vendor shows up, I pick him or an enchantment. Tools, I'm not interested. Well, Beyond sells free skills. Free skills are definitely overpowered. Let's pick those. We don't have poison. Yeah, it's an easy pick here. We don't have a large item. We don't need the haste. We don't have a poison. But freezing 5 times for a second when the core that is going off fast, even though the cooldown is a little high, it's amazing. I feel very strong here. So even with the freezing and I don't know, whatever, we can take just the strongest fight on the right. Chicklegs, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Hope you enjoy it. Welcome, welcome. Sparring partner for Aerodome was worth, right? Instead of 3 gold, even though it's annoying to wait. Yeah, I am. So a few things. It's unranked. So first of all, nothing matters as much because I just want to get my 10 wins and a rank ticket and have also the time to view chat and give you explanation how I view the game and how I min-max my runs. So that is that. I'm a little lazy, so I say we just optimize for 85% in the unranked run. And just looking at the sparring partner for extra gold, which we probably never need, is not worth the time actually. So we just skip it for that reason. But if we would min-max to the last percent, it would have been correct just in case. Because, I don't know, we can only buy 2 diamond skills and not 3 diamond skills that probably show up in the next 2 days. Those are all not really good options. We don't have poison, we don't need income, we don't need gold. Cooldown reduction on an Aiden is probably better than a little gold to a friend. We can buy gumballs. Probably we're rich enough. We don't want a large item. We don't want to go for a random item. So let's pick some gumballs. We haven't done this run and maybe get like 3 crit out of it. Sometimes getting gumballs is good. So far they haven't done much for us. And crit skills are amazing. Let's go. I mean, there are like really good crit skills now since they are golden. 20% crit on the core is probably the best of those options. We don't have much crit scaling, so we cannot scale any shield on our mids, and the others don't do much. And then we min-maxed for a rather easy fight, I would assume. It's Shrek. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. I hope you enjoyed the stream. And yeah, feel free to hang out, chat, ask questions. Yeah, thank you all guys for being here. I am holding at the moment rank 1 in the ladder. I play a lot this game, so I feel rather comfortable talking about the game, and even if I don't stream, I watch other streamers that are in the top like ranks and see how they are doing and what they are doing with the game and how they approach it, so I have a good understanding how they view it. At the moment it's a dually meta, so yeah, it suits me well because I have played exclusively dually since the release of the game. That helped me a lot to rather improve further and probably climb a little faster because I had like already an intuition for dually. I restart the game. I will also take like just a minute of a break. I have been streaming now for a long time and I have not made a single break, I think. So I will just grab some new water, let fresh air in, and I promise you 3 minutes latest I will be back. I still hope you enjoyed the stream and stay around, and see you in a minute. Okay, I am already back. Sorry for the small break, but at some point, just giving yourself 3 minutes to not talk is pretty good and valuable. Thank you for the follow, Boogie Devs. Thank you. Welcome to the stream. Hope you enjoy it. It's referral codes like friend system for those who advertise for the game, not free codes. Okay, yeah. Sorry, especially when you're welcome. Especially when you are sick. Yeah, I mean, I have a little cough. I try just to mute myself in that situation. It's not like really hindering me. I would play the game and sit here anyway, so I can also try to consistently stream a little. And thank you, Kuleso and Nimanjusa 946 for the follow. And yeah, about the code sharing, I don't mind if you ask here once. If someone has one to spare, feel free. I just gave mine also away at some point in a random stream once, and now I don't have another code, so unfortunately I cannot help you out myself. Yeah, I think as long as it's not going too much, it's fine here. Unfortunately, it's not allowed to do this on the official Discord because they want to prevent spamming, which would be occur probably if they would allow it. So let's start another run. How would you decide between shield, crit, and normal core? Well, the shield core I think is by far the most reasonable pick. I think he is not as consistent as the ignition core, and for me not as consistent as the companion core, but close to the companion core in consistency, and you can easily most of the time get your 10 wins with the shield core. Also I like playing the shield core because it's fun, so I would pick always the shield core. But yeah, I think the crit core is kind of viable, though I cannot make it work consistently. I don't know, just not getting used to it, maybe. And the core is, I would say, by far the worst core, unfortunately, at the moment. It was like a really nice core to pick in the previous matters, when you had like a decrease of the cooldown from the cores when you upgrade them. And then it was like nice to build crazy loops. At the moment, you cannot build like crazy loops, unfortunately. So yeah, I will go to JJ, see if he has something to offer. I'm inclined to reroll just to hit something. I like duct tapes, but having like a scaling, a burn item, and an Aiden is by far better. And we go for the pyro. I haven't streamed for 5 years, but when I did, I would almost lose my voice talking. Yeah, it is. At the moment, it is a little rough, but in generally, in my like, I'm still officially a student, and I have been a student for kind of a long time now. And most of the time I was a student, I was also professionally debating, and then there are like championships I went to, and then at those championships you have like more than one or two, more like 5 debates per day sometimes, and that was kind of exhausting and hard on the voice. So I would say I have like sort of practice in talking a lot. That helps maybe in the long run. We are kind of done with our setup here. Like, sure, this here array would be amazing. So we can reasonably say we go to Kina and look for our arrays. I also like to pick the XP option here because we have the possibility, if we get another like lost crate option next available day, hour I mean, we can level up. So I just take the XP here. This is also kind of a toughie. We could go for Andy, which is kind of the best shop to go to, like by probabilities to find rays, which are the best. Or we can get the buy tier and say, well, 5 region carry often day 1. I'm inclined to say 5 region often carry day 1, but we are already strong. Like we have our Aiden, which is kind of doing the same, and we have a bomb squad. I feel like an Aegis or a Omega Ray would be the best here. So there are upgrades. We already passed on one shop. I mean, a small burn item could also be Omega Ray, but it's probably thrusters, so it's a close call. I'm not certain which is correct. I feel like if I would play ranked, I want to make sure not to lose day 1, and I would pick this. Since I am not playing ranked, the downside of losing day 1 is not as bad, and therefore I'm inclined to go here. I don't want to play by any of those. There's my Aegis. It's just triggering a lot faster, and it's shielding a little. Therefore, it's definitely better than the bomb squad. Okay, I feel like reasonable talk. Also, probably same output in strength. I would say aroundish 5 region or an Aegis. So both were good options. I blocked DMs. Okay. No, you talked to Sturkey. Okay. Berg asked, what percentage of runs do you reset? So at the moment, I'm not hearing the music, but it shows up in the OBS. 1 second. Okay. Sorry for that. So, Berg, I reset a little more runs than I did previously because I was tilted a little in the last few days. I would say it's around 10% now, maybe, where I reset. But it also depends on the day and how many red cores showing up, because I'm not playing red cores in ranked. It's still about so that I'm not losing gems and increase my gems day by day. So I use this as a metric, kinda. Yeah. We can upgrade an item or do anything else. Upgrading an item is better. I think the Aiden is a really good item to upgrade, but also at the moment I don't have an Omega Ray and I don't know when it shows up. I think the consistent thing is to do is upgrade the ignition core, because it is our main damage source. It has the highest number of burn on it, and we try to trigger it as often as possible. And also it's our scaling at the moment, so it's the core. I know some people say, like some top streamer, they only try to do this after day 2. I am inclined to do it earlier. It's not the worst downside at the moment to do this. We go to Kina and try to find our rays. We buy LEDs, but then we are not really rich enough to reroll because we would have to sell 2 items. We don't want to do this, so we save our gold and don't reroll. We can get our freebie, or without rerolling, kinda go to Sterling and see if he has a silver Omega Ray in the first shop. I don't think it is consistent to find a ray in the first shop, and without rerolling, going here is kinda whatever. We can rather say we get a random free bronze item, and this might be as likely a Omega Ray, so just go here. The GPU might come in handy. Since we upgraded here to silver, I would wager we are strong enough with the scaling to easily beat the Rogue Scrapper. We have some healing. I'm not too scared. I think we can scale fast enough to burst him down. That should be possible. What are the key parts of a shield core build? The key parts are, so you have like, I would say there are 2 reasonable builds I consistently would try to get with the shield core. One is you just play your rays the same way as you play your ignition core. Instead of an ignition core, you have a shield core. This is a viable option. You are a little weaker to poison, but you are a little stronger due to the shielding versus, for example, weapons. The shield core will do in work, and it is probably close as good as an ignition core in the mirror. So that is a reasonable build to do. I don't like it just because you are just weaker to poison. The reason is the burn core is just a little faster and barely fast enough to win in the matchup versus poison, while the shield core is just lacking the extra output of damage and therefore more likely to lose, and then you feel miserable if you lose consistently those matchups. The other way is you build to the right side of the core a duct tape and a force field and a battery. The battery is kind of multicasting your force field and gets the scaling from the core with the force field and the duct tape, and that is kind of high damage bursty output and nice scaling due to the core. Shield is scaling rather fast in the beginning, and faster in the beginning than most of the time burn, and you can easily beat poison. And to the left of the core you will just have triggers, an Uzi and a metronome and a first aid are probably one of the best possible items to get, but it could be a lot of different stuff. And then you try to hit like some good shield skills that scale you, or have like first time you use a large item shield, or at the start of combat shield, and then you are really powerful. But it's also a lot of pieces that you need in total to get this composition. As some streamers can make it reliable work and have like reasonable 10 perfect runs in a row with the shield core while doing it. And if you achieve it, it's really powerful and competitively at least as good as all the other top meta setups. Okay. We don't need the extra experience here. We will level by the end of the day. We can get a slow item. The pool is reasonable. There's a duct tape, there are LEDs. The Aegis is still tagged as a slow item, so it's really good. Or we go to JJ. For some reason, JJ is the ray vendor, so I am inclined to go here. There is an Uzi. At the moment, I still have like some spots with small items I want to fill, and Uzi is doing this just fine, so I'm buying it. I'm not playing a pulse rifle. We bricked here, and we can now decide whether we want to go to Curio or get a small weapon or some XP. So the problem is, I mean, we are kinda rich enough. Let's go to Curio. The consideration was whether we have like enough money to afford to justify go to Curio. I like to spend a little money if I go there. This is amazing. It's like kind of upgrading the LEDs. This is good because it's crit on the core, and this is crit on all. So I kind of inclined to say those are the items I buy. I don't think I can justify re-rolling here. I'm just a little too poor. Get an extra crit at some point is pretty good. And we leave Curio. Upgrading a bronze tier item is probably better than reducing the cooldowns, since the only item from those which I think is guaranteed to be on the board and the final board is the core. So it's only 3% on the core. It's not a lot. The other options are not as good. Like health is amazing here, but I can get a lot more health if I buy chocolate later. So I want to upgrade. LEDs or Aiden, both are really good upgrades. I like really both. I feel like since we upgraded a little bit of the LEDs, and we can upgrade the LEDs a little easier with Curio over the course of the game, I do Aiden here. It's just one extra haste and a lot of extra heal. Early in the fights, it's kind of carrying you, not gonna lie. And that opponent is kind of strong, so I will use my extra crit. We want to scale with the core, so burn items right of core. We feel strong. Okay. First of all, thank you Sturkey Turk, Frex X7, and Yuki for the follow. Also, thank you Grim Solis and Oliver, who 1999. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Greatly appreciate you being here. What do I study? I majored in two. Like I have two majors. I have a major in physics and I have a major in philosophy. Though I am part-time working in the physics department, I still enjoy philosophy by far more. Physics kind of broke me, but still I kind of finished it. So by majors, I'm a physicist and a philosophy guy. My passion is a lot more in philosophy and debating and analysis and that stuff. So I enjoy those kind of parts a lot more. No, I'm not a law school student. For some reason, I had a lot of contact with law students, and I could never make friendships work. And I don't know, it's kind of unfortunate. While some like so people say like medicine students have like a sort of arrogancy, and sometimes people say the same about law students. For some reason, I never found those arrogant medical medicine students. Like all of them were amazing, and I have like lots of good friends and longtime friends that are medical like doctors by now and studied medicine. I never made it work with the law people. I don't know. We did not vibe enough to have like friendships in the long run. It's a little sad, but it's what it is. Um, yeah, the med students have like the best parties. Not gonna lie, it was always like this the whole life. Either if it was like their own big flat shared parties, or if it was like bigger organized parties, they were the best. Not gonna lie. Okay, back to the game. We can kind of high roll here with shield enchantments, but it's not too likely in the earlier days. I rather pick my consistent 2 gold and 1 XP. Silver tier skills still have only a small option. I rather look at small items and find my race. Aegis is a good upgrade. I really dislike thrusters.